Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining our webinar. It's a strange day today here in Athens. It started good, it's going to rain and then snow, all that in one day. However, we promise we'll keep this webinar short and juicy. Let me remind you that you always have the chance to address any questions through our Q&A section. And of course, everyone will receive a link with the recording so you can watch it later. Let me not take the time away from our Executive Director, George Kapaniris. George.
Hello, everyone. Today, we will show you how to protect critical business applications with a reliable and secure SaaS backup and recovery solution that prevents from malicious malware. We will also provide you some new offers, so I suggest you stay tuned until the end. As you all know, NSS is a well-established international value-added distributor of leading cutting-edge IT solutions, covering technology areas that include information security, network optimization, communication, and infrastructure systems. We have put together quite a few strong strategic partnerships with superior vendors, offering products and services with leading technologies that place NSS ahead of the competition in today's very crowded market. One of our strongest partnerships is with Datto, a leading global security and cloud-based software vendor, offering specialized solutions which are built for managed service providers, MSPs. Founded in 2007 in the US, Datto is a global leader in business continuity and disaster recovery, business management, and networking solutions. With the presence of Datto's superior technology in Southeast Europe, and together with our team of experts, we enable MSPs, IT solution providers, ITSPs, and resellers to further grow their business in this very competitive market. One of the solutions Datto offers is a reliable SaaS protection for essential business data. So Datto SaaS Defense is a robust threat protection solution that allows MSP to access, control, and most importantly, help protect their clients' Microsoft 365 and Google Workspace data. It is a true SaaS backup solution, not just for files or folders, but also for all the data in the collaboration suites like Teams, SharePoint, OneDrive, Google Drive, etc. So please let me now introduce you to Matteo Napini, who is the Regional Sales and Distribution Manager for Southeast Europe at Datto. Matteo, the floor is yours.
Hello, everyone. Well, great to see you. As you can see from the background, I'm obviously from Datto, looking after the commercial side. And today we're going to be talking about, as I said, SaaS protection a little bit more. I think somebody needs to give me some sort of access. Us Italians, we're not really trusted at times with access to things, but let's see if I can share my screen now.
You have the power now.
There we go, perfect. So you should be able to see my screen now, and what we're going to be talking about today, as we said it, it's going to be our SaaS protection product. Why are we talking about this? Well, in all honesty, we're talking about the weather in Greece earlier. There's been a lot of clouds and possibly quite a lot of snow. Well, this product is actually what makes a lot of Euro snow in the MSP world. Everybody's moving into a cloud environment. Everybody is working from home and therefore using more and more data and is more reliant on these cloud applications, and nobody's thinking about securing it. Now, that is the biggest issue. And that is the biggest critical component as well for the MSP, and it's a great business option to offer to your clients. So what is Datto SaaS Protection? Again, it's a very simple and light product. It's a direct to cloud backup of Office 365 and G Suite domain. As we said, everybody is working now in the cloud. Everybody got their Office 365. Well, 85% of the world has got their Office 365. The other 15% is more on the G Suite, but they all need these applications to move and to actually be productive. So on the Office 365 component, what we actually offer is a snapshot, and we store the snapshot, including your Exchange files, everything that is included in the OneDrive, SharePoint, which is a great thing that not a lot of competitors offer, as well as Teams information, which obviously now is becoming more and more prominent in the world. Again, on the Google Workplace side of things, what we do is we back up all the Gmail information, everything that's included in the calendars, contracts, and again, shared drives. I'm moving back to the point of why is this important? It seems to be something so easy and something that you do on a daily basis of just, logging in onto your Office 365 and opening up an application or just gathering your emails and your files. Well, if people can't access their emails, if people lose a file they've been working on, all that time and money that's been invested has been lost. So this product, what it does is, first of all, it enables you to secure it. But second of all, on an MSP standpoint, it also enables you to monetize something that is already a low margin, unfortunately, offering for the MSPs. Because as we know, working with Microsoft and Google is not really that easy. But here's a way of making it a little bit more interesting. Now, one more reason why we should present this to our end user clients is because, well, Microsoft, unfortunately, is not really into the protecting data business. So what they do is they do it extremely well, but in terms of actually protecting the data, whatever you're working on, all the projects that you might be hosting on your Office 365 account, well, they actually go and tell you that it's recommended to have a third-party vendor, in this case, offering backup of this data. So at this point, we already have an input from Microsoft telling us, hey, you should be adding an extra layer of security to what we're already offering. And that's where the SaaS protection offering comes from on the Datto world. As well as, in Google Workspace, it's exactly the same thing. So we all know that we can accidentally just erase data. In the back of our head, what we think is that we're going to be able to just somewhat restore it. But, 99% of the times that just does not happen. If you get that feeling of like losing, for example, pictures on your phone or anything, something that it's got some sort of effect on you, more of an emotional effect, but you can't retrieve it, you can't get it back, and you get angry. Imagine if that happens to data that's actually operational for your business. So again, Microsoft and Google at that point, they can't be of much help. That's why we brought this product to the market, so that we can give this added level of security. Of course, Microsoft and Google are not to blame for everything. What they're saying is they're giving us the hosting services, and then we are pretty much liable for anything that may happen. And there's a lot of things that can happen on a day-to-day business. So in this case, we're using Microsoft as an example, but again, it could be Google, and then we're using the end user again as a potential threat to this data that we have. Of course, there can be things such as hardware failure coming from the vendor side. There could be the software not working properly. It's happened plenty of times. Natural disasters, power outages, in this day and age where everything is a little bit crazy, we have to think of these as potential hazards for our data. But most of the times, and I think 90% of the times, this loss of data actually comes from the user, accidental error, or perhaps a user that is no longer working at the company and decides that as a little goodbye gift, they will go and actually erase all the data they've been working on, all the files, and leave you stranded. We also have the threat of cyber threats in and around that are actually growing exponentially, with hackers as well as ransomware getting exploited really on all the domains across the world. So again, all these factors multiply the chances of something happening to the end user, and that's where SaaS protection really comes in as the perfect backup solution and the perfect insurance policy for your clients. We're going to go into a little bit more details very soon about the actual product, where we're going to have a technical demo, and you'll see that it's an extremely easy product to work with and extremely to use as well. But what it does in terms of offering, in terms of features of the product, you are giving your end user something that gives them up to 3 times a day automated backup. So every 8 hours. You can then define exactly what type of retention you want in the cloud. So how long do we want to store these backups in the cloud? Some clients might want it for 5 years. Some clients might want it for 10 years. You have the option of doing it and to actually generate revenue on top of that. And then it's extremely simple to use, because we've got things such as one-click restores on file and folder level. So it can be very, very granular. Or you can go and actually just restore the full snapshot of a domain directly onto a new domain. So it is actually really important to have things such as non-destructive restore, meaning that it doesn't really override the information that we have in the backups. It just gives you another copy to play with. And then again, if you're searching for something really specific, the product is designed in such a way that you can actually go and look for a perfect file, or if you're looking for an exact email, and retrieve that for your client. So what you're doing is you're really putting a service out there that is custom made for the client, depending on their needs, and they can recover all of their data. On the MSP side of things, as we know, this is not the newest technology out there. There's a lot of competitors that offer something similar. What we do is we have designed it specifically for the MSP. What we wanted to have is to have a transparent cost structure. You will know exactly how much a license is, and there's literally no added cost to it. It's as simple as that. That's how much you'll pay, and that's how much you'll pay forever. It's license-based billing, and it's not storage-based. So that means that we're not going to be counting the gigabytes or the terabytes that you're actually backing up into our cloud, but it's more about the users that you're backing up. Same thing for shared folders as well. Every user is backed up, and then as long as these users are backed up, you can go and back up the shared folders as well to any extent that you want. There's unlimited amount of restores, meaning that you're not limited to having to do one restore a month, or having to call your cloud provider to make sure that you've got everything in line to perform a restore, as it happens with some other providers. And the important thing that can also help you in generating different revenue structures with the same product is that we have flexibility on the data retention period, meaning that you could offer retention that is 1 month, or you can offer retention that is infinite. All these different layers allow you to offer a different type of service to all your different clients. So again, enough of the commercial bit for now. What I'll do is I'll pass on the ball to Carlos, who's our technical specialist, and we'll show you a bit closer our product so you can finish falling in love with it. Panos, you can pass the ball.
Already did. Thank you, Matteo. Carlos.
Perfect. All right, I'm sharing my screen now. Right. Can you confirm you can see my screen in the partner portal home?
Yes, we do.
Excellent. All right. Well, thank you very much, and good afternoon, everyone. Yeah, my name is Carlos, and I'm one of the solutions engineer here at Datto. I'm aligned with the Southern Europe region, and of course with Matteo and NSS. So yeah, I'm very excited to show you today Datto SaaS Protection, right? So that was a great introduction by Matteo. Now, what I would like to show you is, how easy and how, low touch this product can be for our MSP partners. And we're gonna start here at the Datto Partner Portal, right? If you're an existing partner portal, then Datto partner, you will be familiar with this already. If you're not, then this is the centralized, portal for all our partners, where not only you can access the different products that you offer to your customers, but also another useful resources like for marketing, or the Datto Academy with training and support tickets as well, right? But from here, we're going to start our journey to SaaS Protection today. And now we're going to go to SaaS Protection status, where the first thing we're going to see is a list of all our clients that we're protecting with the solution, right? And a very brief overview of our clients, right? So we see, our client's name, which product are we protecting. As Matteo said before, we can offer this for Office 365 and G Suite as well. We can see the amount of seats and the backup success rate, right? So from here, we can already have a view of if everything is going well, right? With 100% backup success rate, then all the protection is running smoothly. So I want to split the session in two parts, or two stages. So the first part, I will talk you through how you can add a new client or synchronize a new account with SaaS Protection. And then later, what I'll show you is how we can restore in the event of data being permanently lost, okay? So the first part, to add a new SaaS Protection client, right? It's very simple. It really takes under 5 minutes, and it's pretty straightforward, right? The solution, as Matteo mentioned, is cloud to cloud, and it's API based, which makes it very, very easy to set up in the first place. all we need to do is select our client's name. If we have an existing client on the Datto portal, then we can select it from the list. If not, we can create a new one. There's not a problem. So let's just use a name here. Then the second step will be to select where do you want your data to be stored. We have a couple of data centers in Europe, like in Germany and UK. So for this example, I'm gonna choose Germany. Now, the next step is simply select which solution are we protecting, whether that's Office 365, which is the one I'm gonna show you today, or G Suite, which is a very, very similar process. Then we need to select a plan for our client, right? So Matteo was talking about our retention plans, and as you see here, we have 4 options. Basically, the first part of the plan will be, the commitment, whether your client is signing up for a year or a month-to-month basis, right? Or the cloud retention, whether that's going to be infinite cloud retention, where we can keep your backups for as long as you need them, or simply time-based retention, which is up to 1 year. In this case, I'm going to use one of the most popular options, which is the infinite cloud retention. As a partner, right, we have the option to allow the client to manage this on their own, right? It's not very popular, but we have the option in case of, a particular customers, will require that for legal reasons. But most of the time, we as a partner, as an MSP, will retain management of the solution, and we can also enable clients to access their own account as well. The one thing we need to synchronize with your tenant in Microsoft 365 is the global admin credentials, right? We don't ask for those credentials on the Datto portal. What we do is we redirect you to a Microsoft authentication website, right, where you're going to introduce your credentials there. You're going to have to approve all the different elements that Datto requires access to via API in order to work. But because we don't ask for those credentials, we don't store those credentials either, right? If those credentials change in the future, there's no problem. We get an authentication token for API communication, and that will retain the sync without any problem regarding any changes on the admin credential. If as a partner, right, you don't have those credentials, that's not a problem. We can select the option here, no, and enter that admin email address. They will receive instructions to finalize the authentication. And one of the things that we developed this solution and all our solutions thinking about our MSPs, right? We try to make it as low touch as possible, right? And one of the tools we have to achieve this is the users auto add. Users auto add is enabled by default, as we see here. We can switch it on and off. But basically what that means is any new users that are activated on the Microsoft 365 tenant, right, we're going to start protecting those users automatically as we detect them. So, you can be assured that, you don't have to come back to the solution. Remember to enable a new license or activate a new user. You have peace of mind knowing that whenever that user is created on the Microsoft side of things, we're going to start backing it up as well. Hand in hand, you can enter a license cap. If you only sell some amount of licenses to your customers, we can automatically add users up until that number. And that's very simple. And that's it. That's the process. When you click Add SaaS Protection Client, as I said, you're redirected to Microsoft for authentication. And it's a very straightforward process, but we do have a Show Me How option here that will take you through every step and will tell you all the details that you need around the different steps here. So yeah, as you see, in a matter of 2 minutes, you can start protecting your clients. So I'm gonna close this for a second. Right. So what happens, right? So after you have, created your client and synchronized your client's tenants with SaaS protection, we're gonna run a first full backup that usually could take between a few minutes and a few hours, and then you're gonna see your client here, right? And after we do that first full backup, we're gonna start running those 3 automatic backups that Matteo was talking about, right? So you don't have to configure anything after you add your client. Those 3 backups will run automatically. And then what we can do now, I'm going to show you how easy it is to restore when your clients lose data, right? We're now looking at one of our accounts, right? Richmond Garden, which is a demo account that I have available here. So in the status, we can see the different applications that we back up, okay? Like OneDrive, Exchange, SharePoint, and Teams. And from here, right, we can very quickly recover data from any of those applications. So to make it more a real life scenario, I've got an account here. Let's see, it's a fictitious user, Daisy, called Daisy. And I've got an email I sent to Daisy that she's going to delete permanently, right? So let me just remove it, right? Now it's gone. Let's make sure it's completely gone, even from here, okay? Right, so that email is completely gone. A week later, right? If we see here, it's completely gone. A week later, Daisy realizes she needs something from that email, and as Mateo was saying, you know, basically that email is completely gone. Without SaaS Protection, you know, it would be lost. But with SaaS Protection, right, what we can do is simply come here, right, and go to Exchange, because we're trying to recover an email, of course. And then we're gonna have a list of all the mailboxes that we are protecting, right? We select our friend Daisy, and once we enter, when we click on the user, what we're gonna see is exactly the folders, and in this case, the emails, the way it was when we took that snapshot, right, that we see here in the date. So the first thing we need to do, right, is to go back to the recovery point we want to recover from, right? So our friend Daisy guarantees that that email was there last week, right? So we can go back to Friday, the 11th, right, and select one of the 3 backups that we mentioned were taken automatically. So let's assume the last backup of the day, for example. As soon as I click there, I see now the version of the folders that, you know, were in Daisy's Exchange application back in that date and that time. Okay. Now we can select, for example, to restore an entire inbox of few folders from here, right? Or I can actually navigate through. I can navigate through the folder. Sorry. But I can navigate through the folder. Just give me a second, and I can recover from here. This is an email I've lost. Let me just go back. We can simply restart. Just 1 second. Right. So we have Daisy here. Basically, sorry, guys. Let me just.
Hi, Carlos. Are you still with us?
Sorry. Can you hear me?
We can hear you now.
Okay, apologies for that. Yeah, I'm here. So basically, sorry if you lost me, but I was talking to restore this single email. Let me just go back 1 step. This single email from me, right, back to our user. So here we can select our user Daisy, and we can restore back to the actual application, in this case, Exchange.
Excuse me, Carlos. It looks like your screen is frozen. If you're doing something, okay, now it's back.
Oh, apologies.
Okay.
Okay, can you see my screen now? Apologies for
Perfectly.
that. Perfect. All right, so let's do the restore now, right? Restore, so we can go to the restore tab here, and it will give you the details of, you know, everything that we're doing. And there's another good point, and, you know, a very useful feature. We do keep a log of everything that is done on the application, on SaaS Protection, right? So we can audit everything that's happened on the solution, right? Like, for example, the current restore that we are doing at the moment, right? From Daisy, we can see the destination, and we can see who performed that restore as well. As you see, it is very quick, right? 1 second. So if we go back to our inbox here, what we're gonna see is a dedicated directory to the restore, right? So that is a non-destructive restore, which makes it very safe for our partners to simply, you know, restore any folders or any snapshots without any danger of overwriting, you know, current versions, right? In some cases, end customers may want to revisit older versions, and then it doesn't mean that they have lost the current data, right? So it is safe to restore. So it's gonna look like this. We have a restore folder. And then within that restore folder, we're gonna keep the folder structure, that was originally when we took the backup, right? So in this case, that email was in the inbox, right? Now we see the email that we just deleted. As an end user, all I need to do is grab this email, send it back to my normal inbox, and then there is with the same date and everything, right? I can simply then delete my folder, and then really nothing happened. So just in a matter of a minute, we can restore, for example, an email. So if we go back to any of the other applications, we also protect, like for example, OneDrive is the same process, right? It's the same procedure. We select our user, right? And then, we're gonna have a look at the folder and files that, that user had in that application at the moment of the backup, right? And we can navigate through and restore back to our users. So as you see, very easy to use. It's very simple. Once you are able to navigate through this restore, all the other applications are the same. As I said, we do have a log to report on all the activities, because I know obviously security is important for all of us. So from here, we can always generate an event log on the solution that will tell us, for example, in this case, I have done a restore just now, and it will give us all the details of everything that it's been done on the solution. Yeah. Perfect. So very similar, as I said, for all the applications, and hopefully with this quick demo, I was able to show you, how easy and how quick it is to first protect your clients, right, in a matter of a couple of minutes, and then, that very little training of, how easy it is to navigate through the solution to restore lost data to your clients, so your clients can recover that data very, very quickly as well. Perfect. So that's what I've got for you today. I'm going to hand over back to George.
Thank you so much, Carlos. It was very simple. However, it was enlightening as well. We are not having so many questions about SaaS protection itself, although we have something about defense. But before we proceed to the Q&A, I would like to welcome our commercial director, George Koumintzis, for a last word.
You don't have any questions because the system is so simple and straightforward, so there are no questions,
Yes. Well, there are a couple of them, but
That's why this is easy.
Good
George
afternoon.
Koumintzis.
Good afternoon, everybody. I can confirm that the system is so easy that I have installed myself, although a sales guy, commercial guy, and it's very easy to back up and restore. So it is an additional asset for all the channel that using Datto RMM just by clicking on the portal to be able to have this service for their customer. And also it has very predictable cost, since you don't have any surprises by capacity licensing that the other vendors are imposing in such solution. So for us, it's a very nice tool for all the partners, and also there is a very nice promotion right now. So if you have access to the portal, you can initiate your NFR license for your company in order to start using this service. If you are wondering about pricing, it's very easy. It's only per user, no capacity, nothing else. Very predictable. We are not Microsoft to increase the price in a night 20%, as you may have experienced already. We are one of you that we need to survive for next year, providing value-add services, using our brand, and etc. So stay tuned with us, and we will have more similar solution. At least try the solution. I tell you, it's very easy.
Thank you, George. I think evidently you are a commercial person. We have sent, and we will send again to all our partners the NFR offer, so you can take advantage of it. I will just grab a word that George Kunidze said, that we're here to offer value, and this is what we do. We meticulously select our portfolio and spend countless hours listening to customers' needs, partners' needs, and vendors' needs sometimes. And we face everyday challenges to identify the best and most suitable solution we can offer to our clientele, to our partners, and in your turn, you can offer to your clients. Having said that, and mentioning since I mentioned the Q&A before, there are two questions I can combine to one. There is a mix-up between SaaS protection and SaaS defense. So what does defense provide as an add-on? You can answer this.
I'll take this one.
Okay.
So, well, it's a good question. I think we always have to take it in stages, right? So SaaS defense comes off the back of an acquisition that we did, I think last year, of an Israeli company called BitDam. And what we are looking to achieve with SaaS defense, which should be available in the second half or in a few months of the year, is to offer something of a reactive proactive approach to defending mailboxes, basically against any of the attacks that go straight into the mailbox of any of your clients. We will go and proactively resolve this issue and make sure that we monitor and flag any suspicious activity into these domains. And if we look at, for example, SaaS protection is more of a reactive approach to the same type of problem. So once we already lost the data, or when something has already happened, what SaaS protection helps us to do is to actually recover the data that we lost. So once you combine it, what you're doing is you're minimizing the chances of something happening to the client. And if it does happen, then you always have the bundle of SaaS defense and SaaS protection to either defend it straight away and make sure that the ransomware doesn't spread, or there is no malicious files going around the company. And if something happens, well, then just restore all the data. So I hope that's a simple explanation as a definition.
It was a little bit futuristic, right?
Always has to be in this industry.
Okay, I understand that. So there are a couple of questions with regards to the encryption level of both SaaS protection as a service and the files, the backups themselves. So the question is, what's the encryption? What is the encryption of advanced?
Yep. So I can take that. So sure. So obviously, we encrypt on the fly, of course, through our VPN tunnel to the cloud, and of course that's between the two clouds. And we also encrypt at rest. I believe it's AES 256 that we use for encryption at rest. So.
Okay. So there's a last one. And I don't know if it's a mix-up, because it mentions Datto cloud continuity, and how does that work with SaaS protection? Is there any correlation to this?
So when we're talking about data continuity, we're talking about the BCDR offering, I assume. Well, no. So basically, what you want to do for your clients is offer the full suite of products. So we have two different types of data. One that we're looking at, hosting in the cloud, again, production data, as we said, in Office 365 and G Suite. And then we might have production data that is often basically stored in other virtual servers or in physical servers that also needs to be protected. So what we do is we make sure that it's protected on both fronts. Now, there are different products, because again, SaaS protection is only aligned to the domains of Office 365 and G Suite, whereas the BCDR offering, or data continuity, is something that can be spread across different types of servers with different operating systems and to different levels of data as well. So one is more of a disaster recovery solution, we could say, old school disaster recovery, where something happens and we need to start getting back to work really quick. So we classify that as data continuity. Whereas one is a bit more of a modern twist. If something happened in the cloud, then I need to get my data back up. How can I do it? And that would be the SaaS protection.
Perfect. And last one just came in. Is there a storage limits or how is storage capacities? Can the partner host storage containers on their own and provide as a service to customers?
So everything is actually linked to the Datto cloud. So every backup will be put into the Datto cloud, which is based in Germany, and then also replicated for the duplication in Iceland. So you would have that as a full service. One of the things of Datto is that Datto offers, you know, all the components that you need to actually resell it to the clients. It's a one fits all type of package. In terms of limitation of the data, well, we do have something that is called a fair usage policy, which means, you know, you can't be too tricky with it, but you know, there's no limits. You can back up as much as you want, as long as it's justified by the amount of users that are licensed, pretty much.
Okay. Does anybody has anything more to add? Because we're run out of questions. It was indeed a very brief, precise and concise presentation. And thank you all for this. If you have anything more to comment on, unless you want me to move on, and I will share something for the benefit of all, let me remind you that on the 24th of March, we have the MSP Technology Day by Datto. You have already received your information and how you can register. We will send it, make sure we will send it again. And we will send it again with, of course, the recording of this nice, small and very efficient event. So with that said, I think we will close this webinar in an Olympic gold medal of 38 minutes, which is good. It was a crash webinar. Thank you all for joining today, and thank you all, our panelists, Matteo, Carlos, for the great information you shared with us, and George from NSS. Hope to see you guys again, and maybe next time live.
Thank you so much, and let us know if you need a one-to-one.
Okay, we will.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Have a great day. Bye-bye.